know that sometimes you want to manage your own data on GeoNadir, but for whatever reason you don't feel comfortable with it being available on the global map for everybody to see. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can make your datasets private and keep them to yourself. There's a couple of different ways that we can do this. The first is at the point of upload. So you've dragged and dropped or selected your folder through the upload process, and you see here in accessibility. This is only available if you're under one of our paid subscription models. So if you have access to change this, all you need to do is to toggle that switch to make your dataset private. That means that it will be available in your list of datasets under My Datasets, which is here, but it won't be available on the global map. Now, the other way to do this is if you already have a dataset that you have uploaded and you would like to make it private now. So let's have a look as an example. Let's find a dataset that I have that is currently available on the FairGeo global map. So let's say Tobacco Reef. We can see this is a recently uploaded dataset. So we note that Tobacco Reef is in between this dataset of the Bowl River and Third Cut Belize. I can also zoom to that location to see what it looks like. And you'll see that there's a range of different data sets here. So note there's 4 down here, 6 here, and this is the particular data set that we're looking at. All right, so now let's come back over to my data sets. Tobacco Reef here. I can either go from here to make private, or if I'm inside the dataset details, I can also do it there. So I can click on the edit and make this private. So if I save this, what we'll see is we now have a lock at this upper left-hand corner. If I go back to my dataset list, I will see I have a lock on this particular one, which means that I can still see it in my datasets, but let's now go back to our global map. If we scroll down, and if you remember that I was between the Bowl River and the Third Cut, you'll now see that there's no Tobacco Reef in there. We can zoom into the location and see if we can find it as well. So I'll zoom into the location of a nearby reef, come back out a little bit until we see our 6 and our 4. But if you remember here, Tobacco Reef was just up here, and there's no data set point on that one. So I'm 100% confident that nobody else can see that data set on the global map, but I haven't lost it. It is still in my data set listing here. To make a data set that is private, back to Fair, you'd go through the exact same way. So I'm going to go back to make it publicly available. And once we do that, we'll now be able to see it once again on our global listing.